Hey Caleb, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Club
Doing
announced.
okay?
Yeah, doing well. It's a little cold still though. Um, Club announced James as signing at midfield. Just what did you like about what he gives you guys there in the midfield?
Yeah, he's for me the modern midfielder. Can do a little bit of everything. On the ball, very technical, keeps possession. When he gets in the final third, he has a good final pass, which is something, we don't have a lot of guys that unlock teams with final passing. He's athletic, very quick, honest defensively, and extremely versatile tactically. He can play the 8 in a 4-2-3-1. He can play the one of the dual 8s in a 4-3-3. He's played the 10 before. He's played wide left as well. We see him as more of a central midfielder, and he gives us just a lot of flexibility to keep rhythm, again, to push on and give us more final third, penetration. He is left-footed as well, which is always nice. And he's an honest defender, and he's quick, and he can cover ground and go box to box.
What was it maybe about last season, or as you mentioned Artur and not being back? I'm sure that was a factor, but what was it about last season that you decided maybe this was the type of profile you wanted to target? Was it just being a little more unpredictable with different formation options, or needing that other guy maybe in the middle to help out with Lucas, as we saw sometimes last year? He had a lot on his plate.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, for sure. He allows us to be more flexible in our shapes and formations, and he gives us another guy like Darlington, that can help us keep rhythm. And I really want to set this team up this year where it's about the team, and we're not a prisoner of any one player in or out. At the end of the day, we could morph into a different shape if we have a guy out, or we have another guy to go in, where we don't miss a beat. There were too many times last year where we had a key guy out, and now it changed everything we were doing. So I think James is just another piece where he still allows us, if our tour comes back, they can play together, because our tour, can play, the other 8 and be more of a ball winner. And we can hold Darlington as a 6, like Sean Sawatsky as the 6. We can play Aiden Morris as the other 8. There's just a lot of flexibility. So, with Artie maybe being out, we know we have Aiden, who's a ball winner. So it's not like we need another ball winner, but we do need another really good midfielder that can kind of, like I said, play next to Darlington, play with Aiden, play with Sean, put 3 midfielders in. He's another piece there. And, and yeah, then if we play 4-2-3-1, he can play the 8. If we play 4-3-3, he can play one of the dual 8s. There's just a ton of flexibility.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Pat Murphy, followed by Thomas Costello.
Hey, Caleb. I wanted to ask you about that flexibility, excuse me, that you brought up formationally and whatnot the other day. Working on that in preseason, does that change how you do things in preseason because you're not focusing on maybe 1 or 2 systems, but trying to create more flexibility with the guys?
Same philosophy, different systems. The system we play will depend on the personnel that we have available or what we choose tactically. So we focus very clearly on an identity and a style of play and a philosophy. That doesn't change with the system, although for sure each game there might be different things that we're pushing within our philosophy. But we want to be flexible with formation. And so we're we know we can play 4-2-3-1. We are tinkering with a couple different systems, which is formation. Okay, so just to clarify, system is formation, style of play is philosophy. So our philosophy is not deviating in what we're working on, but the formation and how we align and put the numbers out on the field can and will deviate depending on what we want to do in the game versus another team's system or who we have available or who we want to get on the field. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
Yeah, definitely. Does that come from having guys miss so much time last year, or do you view this just kind of as the natural progression of a team? As you've won a championship, teams kind of know what you do, or is it a mix of both things that factored into wanting to be more flexible?
yeah, I think when we have, well, that's a weird echo. You guys hear that? When we had our top group healthy last year, you saw we could play 4-2-3-1 and we were able to execute. You saw when we weren't healthy that we couldn't execute out of a 4-2-3-1, like we wanted to. And I think that's because in a 4-2-3-1, the ability to play that formation is dependent on having certain guys, a certain profile. Whereas if we play, a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3 or a 3-5-2, we really feel like with the group that we have and the depth that we have, that we really shouldn't again be at the mercy of guys out. So for sure, it's me looking at the team a little bit. All these homegrown midfielders that we have 4 homegrown midfielders. We have a couple strikers. At times we might want to get on the field. We have quite a few center backs, and we really have one true 10. So it just makes sense to work on a couple different structures that I think actually fit Lucas, but also everybody else. And just getting into identity, I want our team to play faster, move the ball quicker, and I want us to be more honest in our pressing all the time, especially up the spine, and still have creativity. We need that within our team, but just not being as maybe relying on one player.
And when you talk about potentially playing Giassi and Miguel together, they didn't get a lot of time on the field. I know there was late in the season they played a game together. I think New England maybe. Giassi's obviously hasn't been with you guys thus far. How do you build that chemistry of a 2-striker formation with those type of guys so you can have that option come the regular season?
Yeah, I think that'll come obviously when Giassi gets here. Obviously, we've not been working on the 2-striker 3-5-2. What's pretty cool about what we're doing, right? If we're playing a 4-3-3, we can work on that midfield 3 that can quickly morph into a 3-4-3. You just take off the 6, you put a center back on. And then from there, if you wanted to keep that central midfield 3, instead of taking off a midfielder, you take off 2 wingers and you put on a striker, and it's quickly a 3-5-2, add a center back. So there's a lot of things you can do to morph into different formations. But then again, the way we want to play by and large won't change, but we will also look at possibly changing the way we play home and away a little bit, which leads into, you could play a high press 3-4-3 at home. You could play a low block 4-5-4-1 on the road, and transition a little bit more from there. So there's just a lot of different things you can do. You can play a 3-5-2, you flatten the 3 line out, play 2 strikers. That's a pretty good kind of transitional formation as well. It also can be a really good formation when you're high, serving crosses into 2 strikers. So there's just a ton of flexibility, and we know we can go back to 4-2-2-3-1 as well. So I think it'll keep people on their toes a little bit. It'll fit our group, and like I said, if we have players injured, we have now freedom and flexibility to just to adopt a little bit different identity. And the players are really enjoying it. I think they're enjoying the way we're playing and what we're working on, and even just learning these new formations, and so am I, for sure. I mean, coaches get bored too sometimes, and I tend to, probably one of the reasons that I've stayed a coach in this league is that I've, from time to time, change what I'm studying, what I'm working on, and it's nice for me to be learning new things as well.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Thomas Costello, and then the final question will be Jacob Myers.
Thanks, Carlos. And thanks, Coach, for your time today again. Last week, you mentioned Artur and the nagging hip injury that's keeping him out. Also noticed, too, that he has been rehabbing down in Brazil, and it looks like he might be now joining the team. What did the rehab kind of look like for Artur in Brazil, and how much communication between, him and the Cruz medical team, and what does it look like now that he's potentially with the club, with reevaluating him, seeing how he's doing with any potential timetable? Because I know last week you mentioned there was none right now, but that was before he was with the team.
Yeah, good question. We've got a little more information now that he's back with us. Like you said, he was in Brazil. He was working with kind of a specialist there. Obviously, that was in conjunction with our medical staff. Anytime we have other doctors or other specialists working with our players, it's obviously in collaboration with our doctors and our medical staff. So that was something that we encouraged. And since then, now he's been back and he's in preseason with us, and he thinks he's going to be back, and our medical staff think he's going to be back as well. So right now I don't know when that will be. But I think there's a bit more optimism than maybe we had 10 days ago.
For final question, we'll go to Jacob.
Caleb, two final things, just one housekeeping. Any other injuries so far, or anyone else that's still out of camp other than the guys who haven't joined you?
No new injuries. And we've gone 11 days preseason. We did our first training match, which went very well. We won 4-1 against Inter Miami. Guys got 40 minutes. So we kind of did 4 20-minute quarters, if you will. So each guy got, basically each guy got 40 minutes. And then this Friday we'll play Grenada national team, and the plan is to get each guy 45 minutes. So just slowly we're going to build it up. We're not going to get carried away. But it's been a very good first phase. We leave obviously Friday evening, take a couple of days off, and then we'll work in Columbus for a week, and then we'll head to Charleston. We'll play Louisville City at the end of our Columbus segment. And then in Charleston, we'll have 3 matches there. So we feel like that's the right amount of matches and training. Really like that we had 4 days to build into the first training game. We worked on some things, and I thought we looked really good in the game. Obviously, it's first game. It's everybody's, building. Inter Miami for sure is building and rebuilding. So, but looking at our team, I was pleased, especially considering we have still a lot of pieces that aren't here.
By chance, are we going to get to watch that Louisville game?
Yeah, maybe. Let me think about it. If you're nice to me, maybe I'll let you guys.
I'll leave gifts at your house or something. With Milos signing at center back, what does he give you? It's a tricky question because obviously Vito had the injury when he first got here, so you don't really know what his potential would be like. But I guess, what is he, a similar player to that, or maybe gives you something more that you didn't quite get out of Vito that you thought you're going to get?
Milos is a leader. He's a fighter. I think he's a winner. He's a guy that's going to defend first. Not that he's not good on the ball. He's good on the ball. He's simple on the ball. But for me, we need little bite. We need, a guy that can, with Jonah, kind of run the line, give us a little bit of an enforcer, and a guy that's, maybe going to be someone that the opponents, the attackers, aren't enjoying playing against. You know, we want to be a team that's hard to play against and a team that's, you know, defending really well. Obviously, we want goals, but we want clean sheets also, and yeah, a little bit more bite. Vito's a very good player. He just broke his ankle, you know, and that's the main reason, you know, that obviously we didn't continue with him, but wish him all the best. He was a great guy, and you know, last year he had some very good games for us. But we felt, you know, looking at Jonah, looking at Josh, let's get a 27-year-old guy that's we do have two young center backs who I think are very good. You know, and I think in time, similar to our goalkeepers who look very good, our young goalkeepers, a year or two with Crew 2, and you know, I think we've got a couple central defenders and goalkeepers that will be able to step in, and as you know, we have a ton of midfielders. So it's been good to see those young guys do well. They played that second 40. You know, they scored 2 goals. Actually, it was 2-1 first 40, 2-0 the second 40, and some of our youngsters, you know, scored a couple goals. Looked good. Will Sands, Sawatsky, some of these new guys, Quentin, Erlinson. You know, they're showing us that down the road they can maybe step in, which is what we were looking for.
Thank you, Caleb. This concludes our segment with head coach Caleb Porter. Appreciate you joining us.